What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, and we're back with some Devo. And this is a journey that has been waiting for a long time. Big thank you to Han Solo, and he actually mentioned Devo recently. And I resolved to try to finally get around to this, so here we are. Now, I did do one video reaction to Devo over on my Patreon, and I'm curious because I remember that being labeled like the 1974 version. But I looked at their discography on Discogs, and we're going to start with their first proper album, 1978, Q, or question, Are We Not Men? A, or answer, We Are Devo! Exclamation point, which I'm very amused by. And I know, like, comedy and cheekiness seems to be very much part of their persona and their music, and I say that with a very limited experience, but again, if you've seen the video for Whip It, there's no way you would ever think that they don't have some aspect of comedy. But again, this album, their first proper album, is 1978, and I looked their first single as something like 1976, or their first release of any kind seems to be 1976. So I guess that video that I reacted to in 74 is when they were still like, you know, a college band or something to that effect. And I say that because I looked on the Discogs Master Artist page. It says they met when they were students at Kent State. So yeah, again, I guess what I reacted to is when they were still essentially in development before they had a proper record deal. In any case, as I said, we're going to listen to the first proper album, but there are a number of albums in the folder that Mr. Solo made available, so this will be a multi-chapter journey. And the first track on Q, Are We Not Men? A, We Are Devo, is Uncontrollable Urge. So yeah, it speaks to compulsion, right? The idea of being motivated by some visceral or otherwise unpreventable force, presumably internally, but yes, an idea of an urge being something which you are not entirely in control of, and you feel like you have to satiate or satisfy, and going even beyond that and saying this is an uncontrollable urge. It is not one which can be managed or maintained or put to the side. So I wonder what kind of urge this is. Of course, it speaks to a hunger or a desire, even if that is, again, one that is not entirely, I was going to say conscious, that's not quite what I mean, not entirely, I really don't know the word I'm looking for. Well, I'll think about that while we listen to it. Let's hear it. This is Uncontrollable Urge by Devo, the first track on their 1978 album Q, Are We Not Men? A, We Are Devo. Deliberate. I've heard this. I've heard this. that's a tune. It's fun. It definitely has a like late 70s punk or maybe post-punk type of vibe. And the yeah vocal flourish or crescendo is especially enjoyable. And then in the back half of the tune, there was this little wicked electronic sound, meaning my very limited knowledge of Devo is, I think, a little bit ahead of this when I think they incorporated keyboards a bit more, whereas here they sound more like, guitar band, garage band ish, and again, with a bit of a punk slash post punk flavor. But yeah, definitely the back half of this brought in a little bit of a wicked dissonant electronic sound. It was very minimal, it was very simple, but it did change the overall feeling a bit. And yeah, like it reminds me maybe of like Angry Samoan, some other bands that, were kind of in that post punk, late original punk type of sound. But I'm keen to hear the rest of this album and get a sense of like if this is where they really were for their, early material, and then they evolved into a band that was, again, let's say more new wave or synth keyboard sounding. Now, I've definitely heard this before. I didn't realize at the very start, but within a minute or so, I was like, wait, I know this. It was like the first flourish. And I wonder, I just recently watched the most recent season of Dexter Resurrection, and, he talks about having the urge, as he calls it, and so on. I would not be surprised if that's where I heard this. And incidentally, in that same season, there was the Black Sabbath tune War Pigs, which I also just recently reacted to and also comes from Mr. Solo's collection. But I'm going to check in a moment because I've definitely heard this and I'm 99.9% certain it was in a TV show. I'm, let's say, 50% certain that it comes from Dexter Resurrection, though it would make perfect sense. And maybe, one of the early Dexter or earlier Dexter seasons from the original run of the show. But yeah, again, the idea of having an urge, and I do like the back and forth, the like, he has an uncontrollable urge, I have an uncontrollable urge. Like, there was the rest of the group was singing in response to or in tandem with the lead vocal slash, like, self-referential lyrical line. So I enjoyed that back and forth, sort of call and response, if you will. So yeah, give me a moment, and I'm going to check while I'm still on camera, because I am very curious about this. Because I've definitely heard it, and I'm so certain it was in the context of a show. Let's see what the AI overlords say. Of course, my computer is going to be slow and difficult. Oh! So it was the theme song of Ridiculousness. Now, I never really watched that in any extensive or regular context, but I do remember it. It was like one of those kind of prank slash skateboarding shows. I forget the guy's name, and he had like his buddy Big, I think he was called. God, what is his name? I can picture him perfectly. Or wait, no. Was Ridiculousness, I think it was like a, what do you call those, like a funniest home videos type of show, right? Like where it was essentially like, an internet meme kind of show or, clip show, but I think it was on MTV, is that right? Rob something, like, oh God, what is his name? Rob something. Nevertheless, I'm pretty sure that's where I would have heard it because, yeah, if it was the theme song, even if I only, caught a minute here or a minute there, I must have remembered it from that. But either way, it is a tune that is memorable. It's one that you're not going to forget. And I am keen to hear this opening album and the albums beyond. So once again, shout out to Mr. Solo for the music and the patience. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.